Welcome to Nightline, I'm Raymond Go. The headlines today. Perak Exco accused of soliciting commission for land deal. And rubber tapper remanded for murdering 2 senior citizens. Thanks for joining us. A Perak Exco member has been accused of leaking classified state government meeting minutes to a third party. Korean Municipal Council member Bae Yong-kien said the act was committed in exchange for commissions from 2 agricultural companies in relation to a land deal. The matter was revealed by Bae, who lodged a police report in Ipoh on Saturday. Bae, who is also Parit Bunta PKR committee member, said he would also hand over evidence and names of witnesses to the police.
Tujuan membocor kertas minit masyarakat MK Alala untuk memulakan luringan meminta komisen untuk menyokong pemohon berkenaan tanah pertanian lan kurang 90 ikatlah di Palah Luar saya ikat. Bukti-bukti akan diserahkan kepada pihak polis saksi pengalah.
Bae said the reckless act is a criminal offence under the Official Secrets Act. He, however, declined to reveal the name of the individual to the media. Meanwhile, Perak Executive Council member Abdul Yunus Jamhuri believes that the person who lodged a police report against him on Saturday was directed by a mastermind to destroy his political career. The State Public Amenities, Infrastructure, Agriculture and Plantation Committee chairman said there had been many attempts to discredit him since the party elections last year. He said the accusation was made due to his support for PKR Deputy President Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali. In a statement on Saturday, Yunus also claimed that there was also attempts to get him dropped as a State Exco member and to sabotage the Perak Menteri Besar's leadership as the State Exco swearing-in ceremony was approaching. He stressed that Bae was being used and denied the malicious allegations made against him. Yunus added that he would lodge a report at the Bagansarai police station on Sunday at 10 a.m. The sale of assets owned by the government or government-linked companies is not under the jurisdiction of the Finance Ministry. Its Minister Lim Guan Eng said questions revolving around the matter should be directed to the Prime Minister's department.
Pihak pembangkang dia cuba mainkan sentimen. Dia cakap, oh, itu Kementerian Kewangan jual aset. Ya, saya akui ada aset dijual. Tapi itu bukan diputuskan oleh Kementerian Kewangan. Penjualan aset di bawah Jabatan Perdana Menteri. Itu sebab saudara pun tak lihat saya buat kenyataan sebarang penjualan aset seperti emas. Kerana bukan di bawah bidang kuasa saya. Tapi tahulah, itu pihak pembangkang. Dia suka main sentimen. Ingat saya itu sasaran lembut. Selalu nak kenakan saya. Bukan saya, dia pun nak kenakan saya. Itu permainan politik biasalah. Tapi saya nak sebutkan di sini bahawa saya uruskan tentang hutang supaya dapat kawalnya. Tentang pelupusan aset itu di bawah Jabatan Perdana Menteri.
Lim was responding to claims by the opposition on plans to divest several assets owned by the government to service the country's mounting debt. It was reported that Khazanah Nasional Berhad had sold its entire equity stake in IHH Healthcare Berhad and has received proposals to do the same with Malaysia Airlines Berhad. Khazanah Nasional Berhad's move to divest one of its overseas assets will enable the firm to increase its domestic investments. Economic Affairs Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali said this is in line with Khazanah's role to support the local economy's growth. He was responding to a question on the sale of Khazanah's entire stake in Desaru Investments Cayman Island Limited to Malakoff Corporation Berhad for about 287.9 million ringgit. This comes amid harsh criticisms against the Pakatan Harapan government's move to divest several of its assets since taking over the country's administration in May 2018. Datuk Sri Azmin was met after launching the Aspire Graduates Career Carnival in Kuala Lumpur today. On another matter, the PKR Deputy President expressed his support for Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad to be given ample time to revive the national economy. Dato Sri Azmin, in his brief answer, agreed with an earlier statement by Bersatu Deputy President Dato Sri Mukris Mahathir on the matter. The appointment of the 8th Prime Minister can be carried out any time after a decision is achieved through the Pakatan Harapan Presidential Council meeting. Federal Territories Minister Khalid Samad said the matter is not a pressing issue and assured that the transfer of power will take place when the time comes.
Dari segi tempoh, memang ianya ada disebut, ada yang dikatakan 2 tahun, ada yang kata tak lebih 3 tahun, tapi akhirnya semuanya akan bergantung kepada apa yang diputuskan oleh Majlis Presiden Pakatan Harapan yang terdiri daripada parti-parti.
Khalid was responding to Kedah Menteri Besar Dato Sri Mukris Mahathir's statement regarding the matter. He said Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad should be given ample time to revive the national economy before relinquishing the post of Prime Minister.
Dia punya spesifikasi yang diperlukan pun belum lagi.
The maid who was allegedly raped by her employer, a Perak Exco member, has been placed under the care of the Welfare Department, JKM. Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail said authorities have taken the necessary measures to ensure the safety of the maid.
JKM telah mengambil tindakan di bawah jagaan sekarang dan dia di bawah perlindungan pemeliharaan. So tidak ada katakan bahawa dia tidak terbela kerana bila terus saja dia buat laporan polis, terus polis mengambil tindakan dan Adul itu ingat dia tak dibebaskan bawah bil. Tapi memang pembantu rumah itu di bawah peliharaan. JKM terus mengambil tindakan.
Dato Sri Dr. Wan Azizah was speaking to the media after opening a forum entitled Creative Parenting to Face the New Millennium Challenge in Serdang, Selangor on Saturday. On July 8th, a 23-year-old Indonesian maid lodged a police report alleging she was raped by her employer at his house in Meru, Ipoh. Police said the state exco Paul Yong Chu Kyong, who rejected the allegation as false and baseless, had been freed on police bail after he was arrested on suspicion of raping his maid. The unidentified individual had also been examined by doctors as part of the police investigation. On another matter, the Deputy Prime Minister said authorities will investigate a news report which claims that foreigners were marrying Orang Asli women for the purpose of using their names to apply for business licenses. Dato Sri Dr. Wan Azizah also warns that Malaysia does not tolerate any form of exploitation against women, regardless of race and religion.
Sebenarnya pada jabatan atau agensi yang berkenaan dan diberitahu bahawa ini adalah satu bawah lagi perkara yang nak disiasatan lanjut. Saya dapati bahawa kalau perkahwinan antara orang asli dengan sesiapa itu di bawah pengurusan untuk batin. Dia bawah kalaulah dia bukan Islam dan customary rights lah. Ya, tapi yang lain itu kita akan tengok sebab kita tidak mahu orang-orang siapa pun wanita-wanita kita walaupun bukan orang asli yang dieksploitasikan.
Berita Harian reported that the development of commercial farming areas near Orang Asli settlements had made Orang Asli women the target of exploitation by foreigners. It said these foreigners would take Orang Asli women as wife for the sake of using their names to apply for business licenses or government aid reserved for Orang Asli. The government is looking into allowing additional income earned by the B40 group to be used to qualify them to purchase homes. Housing and Local Government Minister Zuraida Kamarudin said additional income in the form of wages derived through e-hailing driving, online businesses and other sources could be used to allow them to qualify to buy homes.
Saya dah berbincang dengan Grab Sdn Bhd yang mana pendapatan pembantu Grab dia masuk melalui sistem, ya. Jadi di situ saya tengah mengkaji mekanismenya bagaimana duit yang pendapatan Grab itu boleh kita manfaatkan untuk beli rumah. Jadi menurut Grab 15% daripada dia punya pemandu tu adalah pemandu yang konsisten yang pendapatannya sangat tinggi. So jadi KPKT akan melihat cara mendalam bagaimana kita nak manfaatkan golongan ini agar mereka boleh dapat pemilikan rumah melalui bayaran gaji mereka dalam bisnes Grab dia.
She was speaking to the media after launching JKP Sdn Bhad's housing project at Taman Ilmu in Nibong Tebal, Pulau Pinang on Saturday. JKP is wholly owned by the Finance Ministry and its sole purpose is to build housing for Bumiputras in Pulau Pinang. Zuraida added that the B40 group, which typically juggles with 2 to 4 jobs, should be incentivized to save up for a home from their different streams of income. In Johor, a rubber tapper who was alleged to have murdered 2 senior citizens in a robbery at Buloh Kasap, Segamat, was remanded for 7 days beginning Saturday. The remand order was issued by Magistrate Salina Omar, who allowed for the 33-year-old suspect to be remanded until July 19th to help in the investigations. It was reported that the rubber tapper randomly killed 2 senior citizens aged 74 and 60 with a parang in 2 separate locations Friday evening. District Deputy Police Chief DSP Nur Arifin Muhammad Nasir said the suspect, who was riding a Honda Wave motorcycle, suddenly became aggressive and went amok while wielding a parang in a coffee shop near a petrol station at 6 p.m. He added the 74-year-old Ku Cheng Leong could not escape in time and died at the scene from multiple slash wounds. The other victim, a durian seller, identified as 60-year-old Ng Wan Hong, was attacked at his stall about 200 meters away and succumbed to his injuries later. Investigation into the case is being conducted under Section 302 of the Penal Code for murder. In Perak, the remand order for a teenage couple linked to the murder of a Form 4 student of Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan King Edward Ketujuh has been extended for another 6 days from Saturday. Taiping Police Chief ACP Osman Mamat said the remand order extension for both teens were issued by Magistrate Nur Hidayati Muhammad Nasro to facilitate investigations. On Monday, a 14-year-old female suspect, who is also the victim's sister, and her 15-year-old boyfriend were remanded for 6 days to assist in the murder case. On Sunday, the body of 16-year-old S. Sri Taran was found dumped in the backyard of an empty house near his house at Taman Glenview, Kamunting at 12:18 p.m. Elsewhere in Selangor, 4 houses were destroyed in a blaze in Kampung Bukit Kuda, Klang at about 7:50 Saturday morning. District Fire and Rescue Department Chief Samsul Marif Saibani said 12 firemen were dispatched to the scene upon receiving a distress call. When the firemen arrived at the location 10 minutes later, however, the fire had already razed the 4 houses. The rescue team took about 15 minutes to extinguish the flames to prevent them from spreading to other residences. The cause of the blaze and the amount of losses incurred are still under investigation. Meanwhile, a man suffered burns all over his body in another blaze which occurred hours earlier at a bungalow in Bukit Damansara, Kuala Lumpur. The 52-year-old victim was believed to have been in one of the rooms when the fire broke out. The victim, who sustained first-degree burns on his body, was rushed to a nearby hospital. The cause of the fire and the amount of losses incurred are still unknown. Also in Kuala Lumpur, a pedestrian died after being run over by a car while he was crossing the MRR2 highway near Klang Gates at about 7:40 a.m. on Saturday. Ampang Police Chief ACP Nur Azmi Yusof said the victim, an unidentified male, was run over by a Proton Persona driven by a woman. The driver of the Persona was said to be driving from Ampang heading to Gombak when the accident occurred. The victim was confirmed dead at the location and his body was later taken to Ampang Hospital for post-mortem. Police have called upon members of the public who may have witnessed the incident to come forward to assist the probe. Coming up next, Nightline's esports segment with Wan Azul Islam. Stay tuned. Thanks for staying with us. It's time now for our e-games segment, bringing you the latest esports as well as gaming news. 16 of the best players unknown battlegrounds or PUBG Mobile teams across Malaysia have gathered to compete in the PUBG Mobile National Championships PMNC 2019. The teams will go head-to-head at the Quill City Convention Centre, Kuala Lumpur, for a chance to win a prize pool of 114,000 ringgit. Wan Aizul Islam has the story.
The PMNC 2019 Grand Finals saw participating teams from 6 different states, namely Selangor, Sabah, Kuala Lumpur, Penang, Johor and Sarawak. Only the top 2 teams from each state qualified for the finals, with an additional 4 invited teams rounding up the group. Armed with various techniques, every team is geared up for the tournament, with some even participating in international events prior to the Grand Finals this weekend. How was the team preparation for this tournament? Let's start with Team Secret on our left.
All right, for preparation, we've been joining a lot of scrims, both with Malaysian team and also team from China, from India. We have a lot of private scrim that is not being live broadcasted. So we kind of can test out all the strategies and all the different moves or the way that we want to land. And besides that, we also play with all the teams that are actually playing in PMNC 2, so that we can actually kind of learn where are they landing, so that we can avoid those places, so that we can loot and, you know, get a good start and then go and get a placement. Yeah.
All right, definitely some interesting tips there from Team Secret. Now, from Junior Talent, Ian, tell us, how was the preparation for your team?
So basically, in the past 3 weeks after PMCO, the team actually went back for Raya. And after they came back at the end of the week, they've been boot camping for the past 3 weeks as well. Very similar to what Parthiban has done as well. A lot of screams, a lot of custom rooms. Although we don't have that kind of bandwidth to play with external parties, but we have been practicing very diligently against the PMCO teams as well.
Right. Yeah. And finally, to my right is the team manager for GeekFam. So how has GeekFam been prepping for this tournament, PMNC 2019?
Okay, we've been prepping. We've been playing more scrims for Thailand and India and Malaysia also. Because we have a PC team, so we get the PC team to advise them more because they play more tournaments and everything. Yeah, so that's how we've been practicing.
To help shake things up this year, developer Tencent has introduced a new point tally system, which has been proven to be a game changer for every team's tactics. However, all 16 teams have demonstrated their skills during the qualifiers and will now prove to fans why they are the best in Malaysia. This year, there's a little bit of a difference in the point system for PUBG Mobile. Recently introduced in PMCO, and now it's here in PMNC. Party, on the go, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the new point system and how has that affect gameplay for PUBG Mobile?
Well, previously, each kill gives you 2 points. Now it only gives you 1 point. So it's kind of beneficial previously for teams like Aerof. They call it the bar. They just go into a house, get everybody killed, so they get 8 points already by killing 4. Now you go into a house, you get 4 kills, at the same time you can actually lose like 1 or 2 members, which is not good at all. So everybody start playing safe. And teams that can adapt, maybe they play the way Aerof played previously, but now they are playing like super duper safe.
I think the community is growing bigger and bigger as well. Hence why there are more and more talents that are being harvested. And every single team right here representing, doesn't matter whether it's the invited teams or the ones that have qualified, every single one of them have got their experience and they have already played through a lot of games, right? No one is weaker than the other, and I believe it's down to skill and also strategy.
PUBG fans can catch the final showdown live at the Quill City Convention Centre, Kuala Lumpur, tomorrow beginning at 11 a.m. Wan Aizul Islam for Nightline's esports segment, TV3.
After the break, scores dead in deadly monsoon rains. Stay with us. Welcome back. At least 26 people were killed and a further 56 injured in Friday's terror attack at a hotel in Kismayo, Somalia. According to authorities, the attack began when a car bomb exploded in a suicide blast at the gate of the Asli, a heavily fortified hotel 500 kilometers south of the capital, Mogadishu. An assault team of 4 attackers then entered the premises and battled with Jubaland security forces for 12 hours. Among the dead were 3 Kenyans, 3 Tanzanians, 2 Americans, 1 Canadian and 1 Briton. Terror group Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for the attack in a statement published on an affiliated website, saying it targeted Jubaland state ministers, regional and federal lawmakers, as well as candidates in the hotel. At least 17 people were killed in Nepal on Saturday after torrential monsoon rains caused floods and landslides. More than 7 people have been reported missing, and 4 others have been rescued in several parts of the country. 3 of the dead victims were found in a house collapse after more than 115 millimeters of rain fell in just 24 hours. According to the Home Ministry's National Emergency Cooperation Operations Center, a total of 1,175 people have lost their homes. The floods and landslides also damaged parts of at least 10 highways. Nepal's weather department warned more heavy rain was expected in the coming days, about 100 millimeters each day, and advised people to stay alert. All right, welcome back. Sports football, the 2019 Super League now. 4 matches were played on Saturday night. PKN PFC held Felda United to a 1-1 draw, while Selangor outplayed Petaling Jaya City FC 3-0. At Alo Star, 2 late goals gave Kedah a 4-2 win over Perak. At the Kuala Lumpur Stadium, the home side's hope of retaining their spot in the Super League suffered another setback as they were thrashed to a 4-0 defeat by Johor Darul Takzim. Gabriel Cabrera gave the visitors the lead after 15 minutes before Diogo Luis Santo doubled it in the 28th minute. Muhammad Nazmi Faiz Mansour put JDT in the driving side as he slotted in the 3rd goal 1 minute after the hour mark, with Diogo capping up a fine performance for JDT 10 minutes later, sealing an emphatic 4-0 win. Now on to the U.S. Major League Soccer. DC United came back from 2 goals down to hold New England Revolution to a 2-2 draw. Teal Burnbury put Nis Gill slotted in the rebound after Juan Agudelo's initial effort was blocked by Hamid. DC United halved the deficit 2 minutes before the interval when Leonardo Jara finished off Paul Arriola's great cross. And that sports item wraps up Nightline. Before we leave, let's take a look at the 7th edition of Harley's Days as it kicks off in the Alps. With that, I'm Raymond Goh. Thank you for watching and take care.